From frozen dairy dessert to federal impunity. One pattern explains both. When unconstitutional wars reshape global politics and domestic violence from ICE agents escalates, the protests that follow are predictable. But there's a reason those protests so often fail to achieve real change. A decades-long erosion of social capital has dismantled our actual capacity to organize, coordinate, and sustain pressure. For over 16 years, Yvette Dubel has studied this erosion, not as theory, but as a systemic reality. It began under the guise of efficiency and deregulation. These policies weakened the commons and subsidized the wealth building for others. Over time, they created a society where our social infrastructure is collapsing. I want to give you an overview of this pattern so you can see the context and the urgency. The rise of rogue behavior from government agents, acting with near impunity, is a direct result of this social infrastructure decay. You can see the same pattern on many fronts, starting with our food. If you've ever Googled, "Why is healthy food so expensive?" you've already brushed up against this issue. Our food infrastructure, overseen in part by the FDA, has increasingly prioritized corporate flexibility over public welfare. Take something as simple as Breyers. It no longer qualifies as ice cream. It's now a frozen dairy dessert, packed with fillers. It's not just a shift in labeling, it's a signal of a broader trend, a food system designed for profit and shelf life rather than nourishment. As healthy foods become more expensive, too many families are forced into low-cost, ultra-processed alternatives. The result is a large population that is not only less healthy, more financially burdened and physically exhausted, less equipped to make better choices, and less able to show up for sustained civic action. At the same time, the defunding of educational resources like PBS and NPR has diminished our communal intellectual capacity. These weren't just programs, they were part of our civic learning infrastructure, supporting literacy, critical thinking, and informed citizenship. Their loss weakens our collective ability to weigh evidence, stay oriented, and make decisions together. The pattern is clear. Deregulate food, defund education, cut public health, and erode protections for workers. Each small cut can be framed as reasonable in isolation, but stacked together, they weaken communities at the exact point where those communities need strength. This is why nothing changes. Communities lose the resources needed to hold oppressive forces accountable because the people are too exhausted, too financially exposed, or too frightened to unite effectively. Protest can bring attention, but without durable infrastructure, it rarely converts that attention into power. So what's the solution? Rebuilding social capital. We must rebuild the systems that allow people to cooperate, recover, and sustain long-term pressure. This is where businesses of conscience matter. When public leadership fails, leaders of integrity have a responsibility to step into community leadership roles, not as saviors, but as participants in rebuilding what's been destroyed. That means supporting food systems that prioritize health over shelf life, creating educational tools that strengthen critical thinking, developing healthcare models that don't bankrupt families, building workplaces that give people the time and energy to participate in civic life. We have the tools. We have the frameworks. What we need are leaders willing to act. If you're an entrepreneur or community leader, start where you are. Invest in community well-being. This isn't charity. It's the foundation for everything else we are trying to accomplish. The alternative is what we're seeing now: unchecked aggression and a populace too depleted to resist. But we can choose to build differently. This was based on an article by Yvette Dubel. If you want to move from "why isn't this working" to "what would actually work," join her at the Personal Innovation Hub on Substack. That's where you can explore how to move past the headlines and into the real work of rebuilding social capital. The work is waiting. The question is whether you are responding to an unchangeable past or helping to build the preferred future. The Innovation Sanctuary Retreat Adventure is where we embark on that work together. Join the list at retreats. YvetteDubel.com to learn how the Innovation Sanctuary Retreat experiment this fall in Shelter Cove, California can help. Subscribe to the Personal Innovation Hub on Substack. go to yvetteduble.substack.com.